Today I'm going to show you how I made this. A Gurren Lagann style drill bit from the anime Gurren Lagann. Pretty self-explanatory. I'll be going over my process and how I ended up making it. So without further ado, let's just open up Blender here and get right into it. So to start off, you just delete everything here. If you want to keep the default cube, fine by you. So first off, we're just going to press Shift A here and bring up a circle mesh. Then go into edit mode with Tab. And you want to make sure you have enough vertices, because this will be important for the outline of our drill. So I'll just take these two bits here and press S to scale them in. So now that we've made our shape here, basically, we're going to be adding this screw modifier. Just go to your modifiers tab on the right side, open it up, and click on, where is it? The screw modifier. And then enter a value of 4 meters. Yeah. Looking nice. And now, next we want to add more, or we just want to double everything on the steps viewport here. So add it to 52 to 32 just to make it look a bit more smooth. And now we'll just add a subdivision modifier right here. Doesn't matter how many levels you want on the viewport, just as long as it makes the model look smooth. Just a little note here. If it looks like it doesn't have enough spirals on it, you could just turn up the angle, or you could just turn up the angle here, or if that doesn't look quite well to you, you can see that it starts having these little jaggy lines here. So we don't want those. So you can turn up the angle on the screw modifier here, or you could take the screw down and add another iteration to it. Just as long as it gives you the shape you want. And that's just about it with the screw modifier. So once we're finished with that, we can just hit apply here. Next, we're going to be fixing the sharpness of the edge. You don't need to do this part. I'll be adding some timestamps in the description just to show you which part you would like to skip, or so just go to edit mode here, and we have all of the indents that we want to sharpen. And also we just want the edges of the indents as well. So just click on them here. those are all the edges that we want to sharpen. So just press Shift E and we'll just pull it away to add a crease to it. And now let's add a edge split modifier. And that'll be it, I think. Oh no, wait. Yep, that'll be it. Yep. Now with the edges sharpened, we can move on to getting the shape of the drill down. To do that, once again, press Shift A, and we're going to be bringing up a lattice. Why do we need a lattice? We'll be using this to shape the model here into the drill. So just go into wireframe mode and just move the lattice up to the middle of the mesh. And if you want to do it exactly, just hold Control while you're moving the lattice to move it by the meters. And now we're going to scale it up like this in object mode. As for why we're not scaling this in edit mode, it's because if we add the lattice modifier here, then all the changes we made in edit mode are going to end up applying to the mesh pretty early and not in the way we want it to. So it will just mess it up. So we're just going to scale it in object mode right here. Just until it gets the shape that we want on it. Maybe I should turn this down. Next, we want to go into the lattice menu and where is it? There it is. We're just going to be changing the resolution on the W from 2 to 3, and that'll give us a new edge loop on our lattice. That's to give us the middle part of the drill. With that sorted, we can now put on the lattice modifier. Just minimize these bits here. And where is it? Here it is. And let's go to lattice. With that sorted, we can now click on the two top parts of the lattice here and the bottom parts here, and just check. Yes. And next we're going to scale them down, but it's not going to be going the way we want to if we're just scaling it normally. So to have it only scale on the X and Y axis, while we're scaling here, we'll just press Shift Z, and that will take out the Z axis from our scaling. And we're going to press 0. And you've probably noticed the problem already, and that's because it's not scaling the mesh like we want it to. So just to fix this, we'll be going back into the lattice menu, and we'll be changing the B-spline on all of our interpolations from B-spline to linear. And this will be for all of them. And like that, it already has the shape that we want from it. We'll just scale it down on a little, just until it gets that sharpness we want. Sorry about this, I'm just very precise with what I do. There we go. With that taken care of, we now want to select our mesh and apply the lattice modifier there. So we no longer need the lattice. You can just delete that if you want. And just before we move on to the next step, just make sure to merge the tips of our drill. So press Alt A to deselect everything, and with our circle, select. Now just press M and merge at center. And we'll be wanting to do this with both ends. M at center. That takes care of the lattice modifier, and we now have the basic shape of the drill we want. Next, we're going to be making the armature to control the width and length of our drill. So, hold on a second. So now, we'll just press Shift A and bring up a simple armature. And now go into the viewport display here and press in front. This will make it easier just to keep an eye on where the bone is. And so now scale up the bone until it's at the very top of the drill. And now we're going to subdivide our single armature here until it has 5 pieces. So subdivide that 4 times. And what we're going to want to do is press Alt P and clear the parents on all of these. And we're just going to rename our armature here to our drill armature. And we'll just be changing the circle to drill bit. Next, we're going to want to parent this armature onto our drill. So just click on the mesh, and then while pressing Shift, click on our armature and press Control P to parent this with empty groups. So now our mesh is parented to our armature. Next, we're just going to want to change some things about our mesh. So Next, we're going to want to just send the bottom armature down here till the base of it. It's at the very tip of the drill. And the same with the top armature. Now just scale these two bits down until, yeah, like that. We just want to keep them like that. And now just scale these two tips until they're at the base of the, oh no. Right. Little thing here, if you're wanting to get it to a specific point, you can just simply have the selection just go straight to the cursor. So to do that, just press selection to cursor, and it'll go right to where our cursor is. And we're going to do that, same thing right here. So press cursor to selected with Shift S, and now we're going to do the same thing we did with the bottom armature down here. Selection to cursor. And if you just want to put the cursor back to the world origin, we can just go into Shift S and press cursor to world origin. There we go. Next, we're just going to want to, oh no, wait. Sorry, I made a mistake here. So we're just going to remove the parent here. So, delete our vertex groups here. And we just need to name our bones now. So, name these accordingly. For the top piece, top controller. Drill dot top half. Center controller. Drill dot bottom half. And bottom controller. There we go. And now we're just going to reparent this with empty groups. There we go. Now, you're wondering why I made these bones have empty groups, because now if you go into pose mode here, you can see that it's not actually doing anything to our mesh because the bones have no weight on them. None of the mesh's weight is on the bone. So to fix that, we're just going to be using the center controller, the top controller, and the bottom controller. Oh, I just need to fix there we go. So now what we're going to do here is that we're going to be parenting the top half and the bottom half of the drill to the center controller. And we're going to make that keep offset. And now that we've done that, we can just scale these down to 0. Now to add the vertex group weights onto our mesh. So to start with the center controller, we're just going to select the center. We're just going to press Alt-click onto the center ring here, and we're just going to press Assign. Right? And now we're just going to be applying the rest of the vertices here to our top half and our bottom half. And just to see that the weights have actually carried over, we can just go into weight paint mode, and you'll see that the weight is now on the center controller and not on anything else. So go back into edit mode, and to make it easier, we're just going to go into edit mode, and using the box select, we'll select all the vertices except for the bottom half and our middle piece. And we'll be applying these to the top half of our drill. And we're going to do the same thing with our bottom half. Alt-A to deselect everything, and now this. And now Assign. And there we go. We have all of our weights here. So now we're going to go back into our armature, and we're going to go into pose mode. So now we're going to apply our bone constraints here. So just go into the bone constraints tab here, and we're going to use a stretch 2 constraint. And we're going to be doing the same thing with our bottom half. And our targets for the bottom half are going to be the bottom controller, and for the top half, it's going to be the top controller. So now, and we're going to make the maintain volume to none. That is really important. And like that, we can now control the length of our drill. Easy as that. There we go. And it's very important that you don't have the controllers parented to any of the halves of our drill, as you'll see why. Watch what happens when I parent the... No, wait, that's wrong. Watch what happens when I parent this controller to the top half. So, watch. It'll not move at all, and it'll just keep rotating in place. So, and we don't want that. So, go back into edit mode and clear the parent. As for those who were wondering why we didn't parent these. So, there we go. Now, for the center controller, this is what we're going to use to control the width of our drill. So you can see that it's not very good on the metal bit, so we're just going to go to maintain Oh no. And we're just going to keep it here. Oh no. Right. So I figured out how to fix this. So you just want to lock the scale here. You just want to lock the X scale here. So now the change in our drill is nice and smooth. And to make sure that, and we just want to lock some, and if we move it up and down, we get a nice drill piece here. So we just want to lock all of the locations that we're not wanting to use, and like that, we've fixed it. And we're just going to lock all the rotations here. So we've got a nice drill piece. Now actually you can choose what custom shapes you want to use to control this. If you want to see how I've done it, I'll show you right now. Now, just as a little add-on here, I'm just going to show you how you can just change how to turn off the lights on this drill here. So what we're going to do is make a mix shader, and this here, we can control the values here to switch between two shaders here. So we're just going to have a diffuse shader here, and for our second shader, an emission shader. And we're just going to have it be changed to a nice cyan green color, and change our strength to 5. So now we have a nice drill that we can change the lights on and off for. And that'll be it. We've now made a nice drill piece that we can just adjust the length and the width for. And we have a couple empties to control the placement. just going to lock the rotations and scales here. And we can just control the rotation now. So, hope you found this tutorial useful. You now have a Gurren Lagann style drill that can now pierce the heavens. So, have fun with that. I'm the Gentleman Vandal. I broke it down, so now you have to build it back up. Goodbye, everybody.